In this video, I'm going to be showing you the one thing that is blocking you from being able to see the changes that you want to have in this life. I'm going to be visually showing you what's going on and why it's happening, as well as giving you practical steps you can take right now so you can start creating the life you really want to have. The good news is the ideal version of you, those experiences and situations that you want to have exist right now. The issue is you're not able to perceive of them. And if you watch until the end of this video, you are going to understand why that is, but more importantly, what you can start to do to let go of that old and step into that ideal version of you now. So let's get started. The thing you really have to understand is you can't see of those situations, not because they don't exist, but because your senses are not able to perceive of them. You have filters, perceptions that are blocking out those experiences. Could be abundance, maybe it's secure love. You're pushing it away because it doesn't align with the current way you see yourself. And in the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, he would say that you have an electromagnetic signature, your thoughts are the electrical component, and your feelings are the magnetic component. And whatever that unique signature, that unique way that you see yourself to be, that is going to find an equal in your outside world. You'll only be able to perceive or attract or draw to you situations that align with that. And that is primarily going to be fueled from the past, whatever early on environment you grew up in, whatever you were told, whatever you were shown to be worth or valued as, or what you perceived of yourself and how you relate to others and the world. That is what is going to be fueling that electromagnetic signature, meaning those past events happened, and the end result of that, according to Dr. Joe, is an emotion. And those emotions are in your body in the form of beliefs and memories, and that is fueling the thoughts, which is fueling the feelings. Dr. Joe says the thoughts are the language of the mind and feelings are the language of the body. And how does that self-image really get formed? When you're a little kid, your literal life depends on your caretaker. No matter how competent or incompetent they are, they have the ability to take care of you, because if they don't, then you're screwed. So you put all your chips in, and you basically put them on a pedestal that they know best. Now that could be anything, emotionally, worldly, financially, all of it. So you need to be accepted by them so you can survive. So this could actually look like you leaving your needs so you can get their acceptance. This person could have been very, very busy or very nervous because they have their own trauma. And you thought, they don't have space for me, so I must be too much. So this is going to get stored and continually recreate that electromagnetic signature. And it's vital for you to understand this is how you stayed safe. So those things that are fueling the beliefs you have about yourself, that's how you're still trying to stay safe. You will not be able to manifest anything or perceive of anything that doesn't feel safe. You have an internal survival mechanism that is going to do its best to keep you safe. That's why a lot of times you might have sabotaging behavior. That is basically self-preservation behavior. However, it's outdated. And you can see this is not your opinion of yourself. This is who you had to be relating to your safety through somebody else. Maybe you got a lot of criticism from this person. You got compared a lot. So you thought, I must be not worthy because your safety related through this person. The ideas that you hold inside that box that's fueling from your past are not your own. So in this situation, most people continue to try really hard to get to their future, which is a different electromagnetic signature, different thoughts and different feelings. A lot of times what I see is for people to get from this signature to this signature over here in your future, they want to visualize, they want to affirm, and try all the other techniques so that they can be that new version of them. But they continually find that they are anchored or stuck to the past. So it's hard and all the energy try to get to here, you just get pulled back. Maybe there's a temporary shift in your situation, but no matter what, you always start and you always end up maybe a big amount of money, and then a couple months later you end up with the exact same place as you started. Or maybe it's about a relationship. Things start off really good and you really start to like them, and then it all ends up repeating in almost an eerily similar fashion of the same old dynamic. Well, most people think that what takes you from the beliefs of your past and gets you to that new future is a big event happening where something magical happens. A big event comes in your life. Maybe it's an amount of money, maybe it's a new job, maybe somebody walks into your life, and that bridge then takes you to this new experience. Then electromagnetically, because you've had this experience, that is what will get you here. And since this has helped you see yourself different and help you feel different, now you're a new electromagnetic signature, right? And then you got the future that you wanted. No, that's not what happens? You're right, that's not what happens. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see people making. This Dr. Joe would call the Newtonian way, that something on the outside happens, comes into your life, and it changes how you feel about yourself. And this is where a lot of people are getting stuck, because you're waiting for that big event, but in the meantime, you're being anchored to the past, and you keep repeating these memories, you keep projecting the past into the future, which becomes your present. Past into the future, it becomes your present. And it creates misery. It creates suffering. I did this continuously in romantic situations. I was waiting and hoping that literally someone would show up at my door that was my dream person, and then we'd walk off into the sunset, and I never had to change. Them coming into my life, the big event, is what would change me. And I was wrong. And it created a lot of suffering and a lot of repeated patterns until I realized this. It wasn't a big event coming into my life that changed it. That's not the way you get from this to this. And really, in Neville Goddard, this is one state of consciousness, and this is another state of consciousness. And the only way that you can change your level of consciousness is by awareness. How you relate to the past, whatever situations happened early on, you changing the meaning. If you got treated poorly by an adult in that situation, that was not anything you did wrong or anything you lacked. That was on the caregiver. Their responsibility was to take care of you. If they didn't have that capacity and ability, that's not a reflection of you. But because earlier what we talked about, how you take the responsibility, since you got to put all your cards in that adult can take care of you, when you start to relate differently to the situations of your past, you can literally cut the cord so it no longer fuels you, and you literally let go of it. That's heavily through awareness, and awareness is what can shift your consciousness level. That means also too, right now, the emotions, the thoughts, the feelings of your future, that is what you can start feeling now, primarily by letting go. We're naturally high vibrational beings. Those situations from the past that's created guilt or created shame, that is what's pulling us down. And when you learn to break free of it, cut the cord, you literally naturally evolve to a higher level of vibration. The thoughts and the feelings of this ideal version of you, something doesn't come in and then it changes how you see yourself. You start to change the way you see yourself, and that literally allows your senses to perceive of whatever the equal is in your outside world. You will not ever be able to perceive of something that doesn't align with your self-concept or your electromagnetic signature. The biggest block you have right now is your attachment to the past. When you start to cut that energetic cord, when you stop relating to whatever happened to you in the past, not suppressing, not denying any pain or any wounds that you have to go into them, feel them to heal them, become aware of them so you can heal that. You can start being emotionally available, emotionally aware of your own needs. When you do that, you start to shift who you are. You start to shift your worth. You start to shift your value to yourself, the way you relate to yourself. As you do that, you produce a new thoughts and new feelings. That's going to send out a different signature, and you're going to get that new signature in your outside world. Big event that actually happens is not something from the outside. It's you making a choice. You becoming aware of who you are being moment to moment. Primarily, the big event that's happening is you relating differently to all the past experiences. Start to alchemize them and transmute them into wisdom that you can apply to your present moment, creating an entirely different future. The more and more you do this, the more and more your life can dramatically change. The other thing to remember is that these events and these situations that you really want, they will actually feel uncomfortable at first, because they're so unfamiliar and you don't have experience with them. When I finally was able to attract a loving, secure, unconditionally loving loving relationship, there were moments where it felt like kind of a panic and overwhelm because it was so unfamiliar. I was used to emotional roller coasters. I was used to drama. I was used to a push-pull. And when I started to experience stability, there were moments that felt really uncomfortable. However, that was short-lived. And the more and more I familiarized myself, the better and better it got. And it was beyond what I imagined when I was back over here trying to manifest this. The more and more you start to realize that the big event that you're looking for is an inside job. Start letting go of this connection to the past, shift the story, become aware of who you're being in the moment, so you can shift to this different level of consciousness right now. This level of you, this level of consciousness, not what happens in your outside world. Your level of consciousness is how you connect to your future. If you want a little bit more support on how to shift into that ideal version of you, this next video right here is going to break it down for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Like this video if you liked it. Join this community if you haven't done so already, and I will see you on the next one.